Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May the Divine lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace.
This prayer is sung for the victory of Lord Shiva, written by Girish Chandra Ghosh. Haratripurari, who destroys the evil, who is the Lord of all living beings, Jivas, he holds the most powerful weapon, bow and arrow, to destroy and to protect. He has matted hair. He is adorned with most venomous snake, Kalanag, on his neck. Worshippers pray to him in this divine form. He is the sustainer and destroyer of the Triloka, meaning heaven, earth, and underworld. He is the greater of the greatest Lord. He gives liberation. O Lord, bestow your graceful, merciful eyes upon devotees. We take refuge on your holy feet. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Jaya Shiva Shankara Har Tripurari. Jaya Shiva Shankara Har Tripurari. Pashi Pashupati Pinakadhari. Pashi Pashupati Pinakadhari. Jaya Shiva Shankara Har Tripurari. Jaya Shiva Shankara Har Tripurari. Shire Jata Jutta Kanthe Kalakuta. Shire Jata Jutta Kanthe Kalakuta. Sadhaka Janagana Manas Bihari. Sadhaka Janagana Manas Bihari. Jaya Shiva Shankara Har Tripurari. Jaya Shiva Shankara Har Tripurari. Triloka Palaka, Triloka Nashaka, Triloka Palaka, Triloka Nashaka. Para Para Prabhu Moksha Vidhayaka. Para Para Prabhu Moksha Vidhayaka. Karuna Nayone Haru Bhagato Jane. Karuna Nayone Haru Bhagato Jane. Loechi Sharono Charone Tomari. লয়েছে শরণ চরণে তোমারি। জয় শিব শঙ্কর হর ত্রিপুরারি। জয় শিব শঙ্কর হর ত্রিপুরারি। पाशे पशुपति पिनाकधारी। पाशे पशुपति पिनाकधारी। जय शिव शंकर हर त्रिपुरारी। जय शिव शंकर।
I'm reading from the book How to Live with God by Swami Chetanananda. And here we are reading from various forms of Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna as Shiva. During Ramakrishna's boyhood in Kamarpukur, at the time of Shivaratri festival, a dramatic performance had been arranged at Pine's household. A troupe from the neighboring village was to perform a religious drama based on the glory of Shiva. The performance was to begin about half an hour after dusk. That evening, news reached the village that the boy who was to play Shiva had become seriously ill, so the performance would have to be cancelled. The senior members of the village asked Gadadhar, Sri Ramakrishna's childhood name, if he would act in that role, and he agreed. Swami Shardananda, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, described the events as follows. Once Gadadhar was in that costume, he sat in the dressing room and thought of Shiva. When he was called to appear on the stage, one of his friends led him there. He mounted the stage at his friend's request. Absent-mindedly, without looking in any direction, he slowly walked to the middle of the stage and stood there motionless. The audience was overwhelmed with joy and awe upon seeing Gadadhar in that costume with matted hair, bedecked with rosaries and smeared with ashes. He entered with slow and steady steps, and then stood motionless with a heavenly, indrawn, unblinking gaze and a sweet smile on the corners of his lips. According to the village custom, the audience suddenly cried out, chanting the name of Hari. Some women ululated auspiciously and some blew conches. To calm the audience during the pandemonium, the director began to sing a hymn to Shiva. At this, the audience quieted slightly. But beckoning and nudging one another, they began to comment in hushed voices, "Bravo, bravo! How beautiful Gadai looks! We never thought the boy could act in the role of Shiva so wonderfully." Gadadhar remained standing there all the while. Moreover, tears continually trickled down unto his chest. Thus some time passed, and Gadadhar neither changed his position nor said anything. Then the director and a few elderly villagers went over to Gadadhar and found that his hands and feet were numb, and he seemed to have lost all eternal consciousness. At this point, the commotion in the audience increased terribly. Some shouted, "Water! Splash water on his eyes and face!" Some called out, "Lord Shiva has possessed him. Chant Shiva's name." While all these efforts had failed to bring him back to normal consciousness, the audience dispersed. We have heard that his family wept because despite all their efforts, Gadadhar could not be roused from his ecstatic state that night. He became normal again after sunrise the next day. On 18th August 1883, Ramakrishna said to Rakhal in an ecstatic mood, "This religious fervor, referring to himself, is not like rain in the rainy season, which comes in torrents and goes in torrents. It is like an image of Shiva that has not been set up by human hands, but is a natural one that has sprung up, as it were, from the bowels of the earth." Another incident is the master said to Vaikuntanath Sanyal, "Look, the Bhairavi Brahmani, Vaishnav Charan, Pandit Gauri of Indesh, and Padmalochan, the court Pandit of the Maharaja of Bardwan, declared me to be an avatar. Now Girish, Ram, and Manomohan also call me avatar. I am really disgusted hearing all these things. Well, what do you think of me?" Vaikuntha, "Those who call you an avatar are low-class people." Master, smiling, "What do you mean? They complimented me by saying I am an avatar, and you are calling them as low-class people." Vaikuntha, "As I understand it, an avatar is not a full but a partial manifestation of God." Master, "You are right. But what do you think of me?" Vaikuntha, "You are Lord Shiva himself, not a part. You asked me to meditate on Shiva, but though I try every day, I could not do so. Whenever I sit for meditation, your loving and blissful face appears before me in a luminous form. I cannot replace it with the form of Shiva, nor do I want to. So I regard you as Shiva himself." Master, smiling, "Is that so? But I know I am as significant as a hair on your head." Both laughed. Here is a reading.
Now a short period of meditation. Welcome, friends, to the Sunday service of the Vedanta Society of Toronto. We are close to Shivaratri. Next Sunday, after 1 week, is Shivaratri. So today, with heart of little, remembering Shiva. Shiva as eternal Shiva. Eternal means who is always there. Shiva is always there. In fact, God in any form is always there. God is such a reality that whatever form you wish to see Him, in the form of God or Goddess, He appears, or she appears, you can say God, ultimate God as the Shakti. Brahman is Shakti, Shakti is Brahman, that Sri Ramakrishna taught, appears in that form. Now, about Shiva, there is some speciality. Shiva is always present, and very easily He appears. And it is always said, Shiva, the very word Shiva means very auspicious, doing good to all. Very word Shiva, the Sanskrit meaning of the word Shiva is one who does good to all, one who is very auspicious, Mangalamaya. That is Shiva. That whole auspiciousness, goodness, pleasing, that all comes in that form of Shiva that we worship, in the emblem of Shiva Linga that we worship, and we feel closer to God through those emblem or picture or imagination or meditation. So that is Shiva. It is eternal because it is always there. Every form of God that humanity has seen had an advent as a human being, as a Nara Avatara, or is eternal Avatara. Nara Avatara is Krishna, Rama, Ramakrishna, Gauranga, Jesus, Buddha. They are all Nara Avatara. They were born as a human being. They lived as a human being, did all the sadhana, spread the message, peace, joy, path, right path. They become the light to show to humanity how should we live in the world. And their life was culminated at some time and their body gone. But they still live. People have the vision of Rama, have the vision of Jesus, they see Buddha, they see Ramakrishna. There is another concept of avatara, like Kali, Durga, Shiva, Vishnu, etc., who are called Nitya Avatara. They are eternally Avatara. They can be seen any time. They were not born as a human being, but assumed the form of anthropomorphic form for the sake of humanity. Shiva is one of such deity, who the Lord, Supreme Lord, the Brahman, he became human being for the sake of humanity, and in the form of a yogi. That's what Shiva, another name the song was sung, Jaya Shiva Shankara Hara Tripurari. Shiva is another name. There are many names of Shiva. But another name very common is called Shankara. Shankara comes from Samkara, who does some, the one who does some. Sanno Mitra Samvaruna. Some also is auspiciousness, goodness, benevolence. Who does that? Who is very benevolent to us is Samkara. Similar meaning. Shiva and Samkara has the similar meaning. That's why it is the name of a synonym of Shiva. So one who is benevolent is Samkara, always doing good. Shiva has never done anything that is not good to anyone. And Shiva is the concept of Shiva is we find him meditating, seated on a tiger skin. Often you see in the picture that is painted, or the yogis have seen, or those bhaktas have realized in their heart, as he is in deep meditation, eyes half closed, and body, bare body, smeared with ashes, and wearing tiger skin, and have for garland he has the snake's garland. That is so unusual for any deity. You see other deities, they have beautiful shining jewelries in their body. Vishnu or any deity you see, Durga, so many nice jewelry you see. But for Shiva, it is only snake is there in his body, in his arm, decorated with the snake. What is the significance of snake? And around other deities are devotees, Narada and Asita, Vyasa. They're all they're praising to them, that type of scene you see if you see the Vishnu. But Shiva, who is around Shiva? Around Shiva is ghosts, hobgoblins, like those people are around Shiva, Bhoot, Preta, like that. And Vishnu has a Garuda as a beautiful, his conveyance. He rides on a beautiful bird, powerful bird which takes him faster. and others, some have Kartika has Mayura as the bird, as the vehicle through which he rides. Mother Durga rides on a lion. But on which Shiva rides? There is bull, old bull. That is Shiva's vehicle on which he rides and goes from place to place. Other people, gods have a very wonderful food. They are offered that chappan vyanjan you go give to Krishna, various kinds of milk products, dairies and all that. And what we offer to Shiva? They say he smokes ganja, something. And other people live in Dwaraka, in the palace, kingdom of Dwaraka or Vaikunta, so nice, everywhere is spring, beautiful flowers coming. And what is the abode of Shiva? Kailasa, all snow and cold, that type of abode is the symbol of Shiva. So Shiva doesn't need anything worldly. Shiva is altogether unworldly, unattached to the world. Today is like cold day, all over snow everywhere. It is like Kailasa. This Toronto has become like Kailasa. And we are all gathered here to talk and listen about Shiva, and next week we'll come and for the Shiva Puja at 5:30 p.m. next Sunday. So Shiva is that very strange, special deity, special form of God that we all worship. Why people like Shiva? So strange, so unique to look at. Nothing like any other, not decorated with golds and all that. Snakes are there. But those people who are afraid of snakes, when they say snake on the neck of Shiva, they are not afraid, because it is with Shiva, the auspicious one, the God which takes our care. Another name of Shiva is Ashutosha. Beautiful name. Ashutosha means one who is easily pleased, becomes happy with very easily. That is the eternal Shiva. That is always the form of God, always there. To others you have to pray so much, meditate, all that. They say Shiva is pleased but just by offering a bilwa leaf, a forest plant, tree is there, in tropical country it grows, it's called bale or bilwa in Sanskrit. Its leaf you put on the Shivalinga, Shiva is pleased. What is there in bilwa leaf? Nothing is there. You don't have to grow, you don't have to nurture, there is no garden needed. Just it grows wild. And that bilwa leaf you put on his head, he becomes happy. So he becomes happy with like that thing. Bilwa leaf is favorite leaf, and his favorite flower, you know that? It's called Akanda. Akanda is also wild flower. It just goes roadside in India and other tropical countries. So that you put, it is his best flower. Not good smell, not good big to look at, not like lotus, not like any other tulip or any other nice flower, just wild flower. And he likes wild flower. He lives with the ghosts and goblins. He has snakes as the ornaments. So that is, he doesn't need anything worldly. He is so unworldly that Shiva is unworldly. He doesn't need anything. As Ashutosha, he accepts everything and everyone. Concept of Shiva is anyone can surrender himself or herself to him, and he or she will not be rejected. Nothing will be asked for. What was your character? What did you do in life? Did you do this wrong? Nothing. Go to Shiva, and Shiva says, "Come, my child, I am there for you." Always ready to accept everyone. That is the Ashutosha Shiva, easily pleased. They say in Bengali, Bel pata nyay matha pete, gal bajale hoy khushi. To please him, you don't have to play songs and music. Just say bom bom with the playing of the cheeks. He is happy with that. Damaru you play and he is happy. And bel pata you give, he accepts bel pata. As Sri Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, that patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. Those who offer me leaves, flowers, water and fruit with devotion, edham bhakti paritam asnami priyatatmana. Those who offer that with devotion, I accept, I eat up those, Sri Krishna says. It means I accept those. But for Shiva, Even you don't have so much bhakti, then also you offer bhakti will grow by the grace of Shiva. That Shiva will accept, even though you may not have grown that purity, that bhakti, that greatness in your spiritual life, you may not have attained. That is the greatness of Shiva. He accepts everything. So Shiva is that Ashutosha Shiva. He is also called Bholanath. Bhola means simple, uncomplicated. He has no complication in his life. So he is the Lord of all simplicity, King of simplicity. And like a child, he is pleased with simple worship, and also he is approachable by anyone and everyone. And he is all-powerful Brahman. He is all-powerful Ishvara. He is not only Ishvara, he is called Maheshwara. He is great God of the three deity of Hinduism, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Shiva is called Maheshwara, often called Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. So that's how he's called Maheshwara, great God. And they say that's why he is a refuge of all. Anybody going to him, he will accept that. That's why eternal Shiva, the God that will never turn you back, say you are not yet fit to come to me. And not that way. He said, anyway, anyone who comes to me, he is acceptable to me. And not only that, Shiva, when one surrenders to Shiva, he will protect that. He is always ready to protect. That's why one beautiful, the song today was sung by Girish Ghosh. He said, Triloka Nashaka, Triloka Palaka. He protects the whole world. And also he destroys the whole world at the time of Pralaya. One is at the time of Pralaya, another is at the time of our gaining knowledge. When we have to immerse ourselves in the real truth, all these three worlds have to go. Otherwise, if we are in the waking state or deep sleep state or sleep state, we'll be bound to this relative world of relative consciousness. Pure ultimate consciousness is beyond all three different kinds of state, called three cities or three states of our awareness. All those are destroyed when Shiva chooses us to immerse in that super conscious state. That's why Triloka Nashaka. And Triloka Palaka, yet he protects all these three worlds. And you know this Puranic story of when there was Samudra Manthana, and first we start coming, they thought all good things will come. They all knew there are a lot of gems, and ultimately they were searching nectar will make them immortal. So they were doing that. The first came halahala, very poisonous, strong poison. And that poison was so strong that they had no way to dispose it off. And if it spilled, it will destroy the world. Every living creature will be destroyed. Now all God made together, they had not anticipated that there will be so much of dangerous thing coming before the good thing coming. Now Brahma said, I cannot go, let's go to Vishnu. Then Vishnu said, I also am unable to have any control this thing, to dispose this off. Let us go to, who is to go? To Shiva. Brahma, Vishnu, and all the other, Indra, Varuna, all Rahu, all God, sun, moon, all were there while the Samudra was being churned, and the things would come out. But Shiva was totally unconcerned with what is going in the world, unconcerned with whatever jewel coming, Airavata coming, Uchcheshrava coming, nothing was his concern. Where was he that time? He was in Kailas. What was he doing? Meditating, immersed in the bliss of the self. When one has the bliss of the self so easily reached, who cares of the worldly greatness of the worldly wealth and all immortality? Always Shiva is immersed in the immortal nature of his self. So then they went to Shiva. Shiva, as a rule, should be your world, you take care. What should I do? I am very good in blissful state. When they approached, such halahala has come, none is there to handle it. What should we do? So Shiva said, don't worry, I will take it care. Give it in my hand. Then all halahala came to his hand, and he drank that halahala and When he drank it, Shiva is ultimate God. On Shiva, the universal form, it holds this creation in that universal form. If it goes to his stomach, then all will die. External, outside this world. Internally, all is there in the cosmos of the Shiva. So Shiva knew that, and he controlled that in his throat. The poison was so strong that even the powerful Shiva, God himself, his throat was turned blue. It affected the color of his throat. So powerful was that halahala. But Shiva was always there to take care of all this world, though not involved, but always ready to protect this world. That's why Triloka Palaka, Triloka Nashaka. So Shiva is the ultimate protector of this universe. And he is the grantor of freedom from death. When one takes refuge in Shiva, one conquers death. He protects us from death. That is the story. There was one saint born, so when their parents requested them, they said, if you want longer life, it will not be that good son. If you want bright, intelligent son, it will be a short life. What do you want? As about Sankara also it is said. They said, we want an intelligent, bright boy. So ultimately, very young age, he was life finished. He was going to die, but he was a devotee of Shiva. His parents were also devotee of Shiva. When the death was approaching, he came to a Shiva temple and embraced the Shiva Linga with the prayer. And they say, Shiva's Duta came and they removed the Yama who had come to take him away. So Shiva protects us from death. So when this body is born, the body will have to die one day. But what is protection from death is we become aware that the body that dies is not I. I am that immortal self which doesn't die. And this knowledge, getting the knowledge of oneself as the Atman, happens by the grace of Shiva. When we have that knowledge, true knowledge of the self, that is conquering death. So by the grace of Shiva, we become free from death. Shiva is Mahayogi. Mahayogi means yogi is the one who has united himself or herself with the truth, with the reality, with the Atman. Shiva is always immersed in that bliss of the self. That's why he is called Mahayogi. That's why all pictures are there, blessing and also immersed in the self. He is free from the worldly attachment. He doesn't want anything of the world. Anything of the world cannot allure him. What he loves is just a few things, wild things given to him. If you can give with devotion, as Sri Krishna said, you will find the bliss of Shiva. Even if we give without devotion, that also Shiva is sometimes pleased. The Ashutosa nature is told in some Puranic story that one hunter had gone to the forest, and it became evening, and he couldn't return. Forest was deep, and finally there were some animals. So this hunter, to save himself from wild animals, tigers and lions, he climbed a tree. And it was a night. Now he was tired, whole day hunting. He could not hunt anything. So he was tired, and to keep awake, as we drive sometime now. What we drive, when we drive, what do we do to keep ourselves awake? We play some music, some talk, like that. This person didn't have anything like music or talk on YouTube. What did he do? He started plucking that leaf of the tree, and plucking and then counting and throwing. 1, 2, so that he keeps awake. That was his way of saving himself from drowsiness and tiredness. And after some time, it started pouring now, rain. After doing that for some time, he suddenly found there was light in front of him. And in the light, he finds the beautiful form of God, and Shiva had come. Why did Shiva become pleased? There was a small Shiva Linga under that tree that hunter didn't see. And that tree was Bilva tree, the Bale tree. And he was in fact plucking the Bilva leaves and throwing down, it fell on the Shiva Linga. And it was raining as if water is being poured to Shiva. Now Shiva God gets water, he gets Shiva Bilva leaf. And who is there? Hunter, good person, kind person? Nothing. Something has done so much that Shiva comes. What do you want? ask for a boon. That was Shiva's graciousness to anyone bringing that. Bel patane matha pete gal bajale hai khushi. He accepts the billow leaves on his head, and when you play only your cheek, he becomes happy. That is what the Shiva, Ashutosa Shiva is there. So, free from all worldly attachment, yet being so happy so easily. Shiva, this thing is called, you find Shiva in the meditative posture. Another form of Shiva that we often see is a Nataraja Shiva, the Shiva in dancing pose, with his left foot, leg left up, and having 4 arms with fire and blazing and all that thing, and he's dancing in the circle of fire. That's very common. What is the Nataraja? That very word Nataraja means king or lord of dance. Nata, Nritya, from Natya comes Nata. So he is the lord of dances. And how he dances? This Nataraja, or this Nritya cosmic dance, Nataraja means the dancer, king of the cosmic dance. Cosmic dance is nothing but the rhythm, that universal rhythm that is going on. Universal rhythm always going on. We see everything is in motion, right from atom, molecule, this world, planets, system, solar system. Everything is in motion, created thing is in motion. And all that motion goes in harmony. And that harmony of motion is called rhythm. That motion is not only physically done, but in our mentally also. All that love, good, failure, success, these are all different kind of motion that goes on in our mind and in our mental life. All those are included in the word called rhythm. Rhythm rhymes with the English word rhythm. Rhythm means that has harmony of music. Rhythm is there. That's how there is a rhythm of dance in this world always going on. Not that Shiva's Nataraja is only to destroy the world, but there is eternal dance that goes on in this universe that goes on. That is the dance of Shiva's dance, not only to destroy, but the continuation of this universe as such, by the power of that ultimate being called Shiva. So that's why when we go we are always in the harmony with that universal dance called Rita. If we do not follow that rhythm in the center and deviate from that, then we are not in the rhythm towards the progress. And finally, with all this dance going on, ultimate goal of this rhythm is Satyam, all the truth. We all are moving towards that ultimate truth through our success and failure, through our spirituality and through our worldliness. But through all that, we are slowly but surely we are traveling towards that truth. Swami Vivekananda said, in the world, we do not travel from falsehood to truth. He said, we travel from truth to truth, from lesser truth to higher truth. So everyone travels from truth to truth. We do so many good things, we are following the right path. Some bad things we do, so that is not deviating, that is deviating from the rhythm, but we ultimately come. In the whole life we do commit wrong things, then also there is no end of that, your life. Then again you will go to some place and you will be again sent here to this world to move in the rhythm of this Shiva's dance, the eternal dance of Shiva. So that's what Shiva's dance. And ultimately we'll go on the right path, and all these vices we have done will ultimately be taken care of by our karma phala, and our experience of karma. Finally, we have to tread the path and ultimately go. And the path of realization or reaching the Satyam is open to everyone we go. So one is very long path, when will happen, we do not know. But those who are wise, why will take this so many trouble to go from this life and go to hell or go to heaven and just spend some time there, again come back here? It is same thing going to hell or heaven. In hell you go and suffer, but you have to come here. In heaven you go and enjoy, you have to come here. That is the only deviation from the path to reality, path to moksha. And you come here and you try again, and you ultimately get mukti. From the place of getting mukti is not heaven or hell, but this earth, this world. So ultimate, this Martya Loka is so great, our life is so great. This is the doorway to liberation, to mukti, to moksha we can get from here. And all our life we are trying to go to do that. So no one has the failure. Every one of us will succeed. That is the, we have in the eternal dance of Shiva, when we are with in the rhythm with the eternal dance of Shiva. So once people have felt that dancing, one that, have you heard, you must have heard the book called Tao of Physics by Fritjof Capra. It was published about 30 years ago. And in that he was a scientist, he was a physicist. But one day he had gone to the shore of an ocean, and he suddenly saw and was immersed in the waves that were being created and merging. And then he suddenly felt that the rhythm of the waves coming and merging, that is in his body also. Every cell of his body is in the rhythm. Suddenly, through his knowledge of physics, of seeing molecules and atoms and electrons, he found that there is rhythm in the movement of electrons and protons and all that in the atom. And he found there is a big, great rhythm. The whole universe is going on. And this eternal rhythm, he remembered of Nataraja, that eternal the dance of Shiva, and he felt he is in harmony with the dance. Whole universe is in harmony with that great dance of eternal dance of Shiva. His body, his mind, the ocean in front of him, the molecules inside the sand, and this whole universe, everything is dancing in a rhythm of eternal dancer of Shiva. So that is the eternal dance of Shiva, of the Nataraja that goes on. And that dance is very blissful. He was in a sort of trance because of his great absorption into that. And as he had studied philosophy also and knew about the dance of Shiva as Nataraja, the ultimate dissolver of the seeming world in our individual case, that pralaya, as we said, triloka, nasaka, it may not be totally destroying the three worlds, though there is what is created has to destroy. There are many theories about the ultimate destruction, what is called pralaya. Some say it is part by part. The world is created, our solar system will destroy, and another solar system will be created. Whole universe being destroyed, that is also one theory, but that whole universe created and it is destroyed, and there will be again Big Bang, this cycle will go on. But the most common that is observed, that you can see the dying stars, and the nebulae created. Now also you can see that. Stars with their solar system, sun far away with the solar system dying. Another being created in another place in this space. So this creation and the dissolution or destruction is going on. So that's where you can say Shiva is working as the Triloka Nashaka, who destroys the world. Another way of destruction of the world, as I said, is our living or our idea of this waking, dream, and dreamless sleep, these three states of our awareness. When we have to dive deep into our own pure consciousness, all these three states will have to go away. And that is called destruction. That is called Triloka Nashaka. All three different kinds of states of awareness of this world, of the dream world, and dreamless sleep, that Vijnanamaya Kosa, when it is active, that all has to cease. And who will do that? By the grace of Shiva, the great God, the Mahayogi. By his grace, all that can go, and we can find out our true eternal nature of our Atman, or the blissful self of Satchit Ananda Swarupa Atma. I am that Atma. And Shiva can do that. This eternal Shiva is not only Shiva qualities are there. He is always in meditation. He has no attachment to the world. He doesn't want anything of the world, and always in bliss. That Shiva is not that isolated one individual entity. He is the Brahman. And also sometimes he said Shiva Avatara. The Shiva comes in this world. Avatara in our scripture is said it is the responsibility of Vishnu to come to this world to show us the light whenever there is little in the long time when there is a distraction from the right path. He has to assume in human body and guide the world. That is called Avatara of Vishnu, like Krishna, Rama, Matsya, Varaha, Kurma, so many avatars coming. But they sometimes say avatar of Shiva also sometimes come. Vishnu is the avatar of devotion, of love, like that. He is pleased so much. All is about love and the devotion and joy. But Shiva is all knowledge, awareness, detachment. That is how Shiva avatar. This is the difference between the nature of Shiva and Vishnu. Vairagya. Vairagya, of course, you need Vairagya to attain to divine nature, to understand your true nature in both ways. But one is through the path of bhakti, another through the path of jnana or knowledge. So when the path of knowledge is prevalent, that is called Shiva avatara. So the first one we described as the Shiva coming himself is Shankara, the Shankaracharya. So he was, from his very childhood, he was so much given to knowledge. He mastered all the scriptures, Vedas, Upanishads, in very young age. And also he could had his own interpretation of all the scriptural texts, Brahma Sutra and all those things. And he, until his age 8, he mastered everything. And after that, he took sannyas and his life was given doubled. He was only to live only 8 years. So his life was doubled up to 16. In that time, up to 16 years, then he wrote commentaries on the scriptures. He took sannyasa in Omkareshwara from Govindapada. And when Govindapada asked, "Who are you?" then what he replied, 8-year-old boy, he said, "I am not body, I am not mind. I am Chidananda Rupa Shiva. I am Shiva of the immortal, blissful nature, Chidananda Rupa Shiva." So that was his answer, 8-year-old boy, to his guru who was waiting for student to come. And then Guru gave him sannyasa, his life was doubled. He then wrote the commentaries, and after that he went to Varanasi. And in Varanasi, in the dream one day, he was now 16 after roaming here and there. So after writing the things, in Varanasi one day, in the dream he sees Vyasa came, Vadarayana Vyasa. And he says, "Tell me what you have written about my Brahma Sutra." So he said about the Brahma Sutra, his commentary on Brahma Sutra. Vyasadeva was so pleased with what he had written, was exactly according to what he wanted to interpret. This Brahma Sutra is like the aphorism about the Vedanta philosophy. Aphorism is, unless it is explained, there is nothing you can really understand. There has to be commentary. Those who are very deep in spirituality and have the knowledge of all other scriptures only can write the commentary on that. So Shankara wrote commentary. So they say Vyasa was so pleased that you have just understood what I wanted to write in that, and it is just perfect to what I want to say. So I give you a boon of double your life from 16 to 32. And in this 32 year, travel all over India and preach the Sanatana Dharma, the scriptures, show the light to human beings, revive Hinduism. Hinduism has been now in slumber because of other religions coming up, Buddhism especially, and in debate try to prove the truth of the scriptures, that is of the Hindus, and we call in debate. So he traveled all over India, revived Hinduism, re-established temples that were worship was not going on, rituals had all gone. He was a Jnana Yogi, Shiva. So Shankara is also called avatar of Shiva, who revived Hinduism. God himself, the Shiva power came into this young boy and he revived Hinduism. Another person we find the incarnation of Shiva is Swami Vivekananda, who is also called Shiva Swarupa Swami Vivekananda. Sri Ramakrishna saw that a light has come from Varanasi to Kolkata when Swami Vivekananda was born. And he understood, he is a man whose who has no thought about his body at all, no body identification. This young man of 20, 22 years has no body identification. He identifies with the self, with the Atman, so unworldly, this body not identifying with the body. So he was very surprised that such a man is there in this Kolkata material, where the people are very materialist. That was what he was saying. And when he had seen, he remembered the scene, then he knew that he was Shiva. So Sri Ramakrishna was always aware of Shiva nature, the Shiva born of Swami Vivekananda. When many people criticized about Swami Vivekananda, he eats anything, anywhere, he is that, he is doing the right thing, he is very arrogant. She said, keep quiet. Saying anything against Shiva is Shiva Ninda. Anything against Swami Vivekananda. He was so firm that Swami Vivekananda is the incarnation of Shiva, or Shiva qualities are in him, because he was born with the prayer to Shiva by his mother. And there are many incidents. Swami in Kashipur, they were in Kashipur, they were all sleeping in under a big mosquito net, and suddenly Swami Shivananda, one of his brother monk, they were not yet taken sannyas at that time. Suddenly he woke up at midnight and sees light there in the room, in the dark room. He said, what is there? And where Swami Vivekananda was lying, Narendranath was lying, he says, there is Shiva lying there. So like that was Shiva there. He understood. He is not, though he is brother monk, but he is not like one of us. He is something of different category. Once Swami Vivekananda wanted to have his body massage. So he asked one of his disciples, Sarat Chandra Chakravarti, to come and massage some body. It's aching. Can you do that? He said, yes, I can do. He was a young man. He came and he started pressing. But he was afraid to press him, Swami Vivekananda, very tightly. So he was doing very lightly. So I said, no, you don't know how to massage. Call Brahmananda. It is in Belur Math. So Brahmananda, always Brahmananda, Thakur's Manasaputra, respected by all, president of the Ramakrishna Order that time itself. And Swami Brahmananda came and he started massaging. And he massaged for 2 hours. When he came out, he was perspiring, tired, so much he did, and with all force he did. And Swami Vivekananda slept in that. It was Swami Vivekananda hardly used to get sleep. So he slept in that. And when he came out perspiring, tired, that Sarat Chandra Chakravarti was waiting outside. And he said, Maharaj, Swami Vivekananda is a brother monk, and he asked you to massage you. He could have asked any other person, any other servant to do that. Why he had to ask you? So what are you saying? Don't say that. He is Shiva himself. You don't know that. You have to have eye to see. That is how Swami Vivekananda was an incarnation of Shiva. The eternal Shiva appears to us. Shiva, Swami Vivekananda is that. So it is said that Shiva's Ishta is Rama. Shiva always repeats the name of Rama. And Rama's Ishta is Shiva. Rama repeats the name of Shiva. So when Swami Vivekananda's initiation, Sri Ramakrishna will initiate him in Kashipur. He asked him, come, I'll give you mantra. Sri Ramakrishna didn't give mantra to everyone. To some he does, to some he wrote in the tongue. It was all the initiation, but not the giving the mantra in the ear. And when Swami Vivekananda came, what mantra Sri Ramakrishna gave? He gave Rama mantra. Narendranath was, from his very young age, was very devoted to Rama and Sita. He used to worship. But later on he found that Shiva is very ideal, like yogi, sannyasin's ideal, in his childhood itself. So, because, why did Sri Ramakrishna give him Rama mantra? He could have given Kali mantra, his own Ishta, or his own name he could have given. He knew that he was the incarnation of God, but he gave especially Rama mantra. This also proves that Swami Vivekananda was an incarnation of eternal Shiva. Shiva is ever present, ever there. Those who have devotion, those who have eagerness to see, those who want to follow him, they can see him anytime. Just we have to raise our status of our mind to the pure level of purity and to the level of insight, what is called opening the third eye. If our third eye, the eye of wisdom and purity of heart is open, then we can have the vision of eternal Shiva. And ultimately, we merge that in that Shiva, or Shiva merges in us, and our heart, the Atman, becomes Shiva. And that time you can say, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Swami Vivekananda composed a beautiful verse, a beautiful hymn on Shiva. It goes as Nikhila Bhuvana Janmas Thema Bhanga Praroha Akalita Mahimana Kalpita Yatra Tasmin Subimala Gaganabhe Tvisha Samstepya Nishe Mama Bhavatu Bhavesmin Bhasuro Bhavavanda. I will not read all the verses, it is 6, but I will read the translation of those verses. Swami Vivekananda says, Salutation to Shiva, whose glory is immeasurable, who resembles sky in clearness, to whom are attributed the phenomena of all creation, the preservation and dissolution of the universe. May the devotion, the burning devotion of this my life attach itself to him, to Shiva, who, while being Lord of all, transcends himself, in whom lordship is ever established, who causes annihilation of delusion, whose most surpassing love made manifest has crowned him with a name above all names, the name of Mahadeva, the great God, whose warm embrace of love personified displays within man's heart that all power is but a semblance and a passing show, in which the tempest of the whole past blows, past samskaras, stirring the energies with violence, like water lashed to waves, in which the dual consciousness of I and thou pays on. I salute that mind, unstable, centered in Shiva, the abode of calm, the accumulated effects of past desires and actions, where the ideas of parent and produced, purified thoughts and endless varied forms merged in the real one, where the existence ends of such conceptions as within, without, the wind of modification being stilled, that Hara I worship, the suppression of movements of the mind, Shiva I hail, from whom all gloom and darkness have dispersed, that radiant light, white, beautiful as bloom of lotus white is beautiful, whose laughter loud sheds knowledge luminous, who by undivided meditation is realized in the self-controlled here. May that lordly swan of the limpid lake of my mind guard me, prostrate before him. Him, the master remover of evil, who wipes the dark strain of this iron age, Kali Yuga, whom Daksha's daughter gave her coveted hand, who, like the charming water lily white, is beautiful, who is ready ever to part with life for others' good, whose gaze is on the humble fixed, whose neck is blue with the poison swallowed, him we salute. Swami Vivekananda's beautiful creation on the hymn of Shiva expressing that thing. And we have in Swami Vivekananda, Shiva Swarupa Yatiraja Swami Vivekananda. Namashri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Surai Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. Om Namah Shivaya Shantaya Karanatraya Hetave Nivedayami Chatmanam Gatistvam Parameshwara. Om. Thank you.
dear devotees and friends, thank you for being a part of our Sunday service. Please take a note of the following upcoming events and announcements. On Friday, the February 13th, we have scripture class on Uddhava Gita, followed by birthday celebration of Sri Ramakrishna on Saturday, February 14th at 11 a.m. On Sunday, we are celebrating Mahashivaratri at 5:30 p.m. The Vedanta Society of Toronto will observe its winter vacation starting February 16th, that is Monday, through March 22nd. During this period, all society activities will remain suspended. Vedanta Society of Toronto is going to announce our fundraising event, Vivekananda Dinner. That event will be held on Sunday, July 19 at 2026 at Woodbine Banquet Hall. Further details will be shared on our website soon. We warmly encourage everyone to participate wholeheartedly. After the closing chants, please proceed upstairs for prasad. Thank you.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Mahamai Ki Jai. Jai Swami Ji Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Buddha Ki Jai. Jai Isha Musha Ki Jai. Sarvastaratu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarvasad Buddhimapnotu Sarva Sarvatra Nandatu. Hari Om Tat Sat. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us.